These niggas got HIV around me and I gotta drink with these.
He's talking in code. No, the nigga was bent over the cow. Who? Meek Mill.
Also, would like for everyone to be mindful of the thirst and the urgency and the need to speak on the situation.
Nobody gave the younger crowd a real warning. Nobody told them what that invitation truly came with. Nobody explained what stepping into that world could actually cost. And when the one person who was brave enough or pushed to their limit enough to finally speak up, something strange happened. The people who seemed to know the most suddenly had the least to say. But here's the piece almost nobody is putting together. The parties, the famous names, the silence, the rumors, the unanswered questions, it all connects to the same story. And today, we're starting at the very beginning. Let's make one thing clear right away. When people talk about Diddy's parties, the headline-making events, the over-the-top Vegas nights, and the private gatherings that investigators have spent months examining, they are not talking about ordinary celebrity parties. We're talking about situations that multiple witnesses, industry insiders, and former associates have described as carefully controlled setups. Not just parties, not just casual gatherings, something far more calculated. And the people who found themselves caught up in these situations were rarely chosen at random. Many were ambitious, eager for an opportunity, and looking for approval from powerful figures at the top of the entertainment world. That's the first thing you need to understand before any of the names involved start to make sense. Now, let's talk about Orlando Brown. Years before Cassie filed her lawsuit, before the federal investigations, and before Diddy became linked to some of the entertainment industry's biggest controversies, Orlando Brown was already speaking publicly. He appeared on podcasts, gave interviews, mentioned names, and shared stories about things he claimed to have witnessed.
Do it, don't do it. Nah, you don't want to be no actor. You don't want to be no singer.
At the time, a lot of people dismissed him. They called him unreliable, accused him of chasing attention, and treated his comments as something to laugh off. But here's the detail many people keep overlooking. Over the years, some of the topics Orlando Brown discussed have later surfaced in lawsuits, public testimony, and official investigations. That's a fact that has caused many people to take a second look at what was once ignored. That moment, that emotional, raw, tearful moment when Orlando urged young people to be careful about entering the entertainment industry didn't come across like a joke or a performance. It felt like someone carrying a heavy burden and struggling to explain it. And when the interviewer pressed him further, asking why he was becoming emotional and why a conversation about career advice affected him so deeply, Orlando didn't brush it aside or change the subject. Instead, he spoke about facing personal struggles and difficult challenges, not industry politics, not contract disagreements, but experiences that clearly left a lasting impact on him. His words suggested he was talking about something very specific, something deeply personal, and something connected to parts of the industry that most people never get to see up close. Now, let's look at how Orlando first entered that world, because this is where the timeline starts becoming important. Orlando has claimed that he first crossed paths with Diddy when he was around 15 or 16 years old. Looking at the timeline, Orlando would have been about 15 in 2002.
Gotta be careful with what you asking for. And you're not gonna just get music, and you're not gonna just get TV very easy. These demons come very swift.
During that same period, Diddy made an appearance on Nickelodeon's All That, while Orlando was also working on projects connected to the network. That timeline has attracted a lot of attention from people following the story. When footage of that Nickelodeon appearance resurfaced, Cott Williams shared the clip on his Instagram stories and added a short caption, "They're all in it." The post quickly sparked discussion and speculation online. Some observers viewed Cott's comment as a sign that he believed there were deeper connections within the entertainment business. Others saw it as a broader criticism of how the industry operates. Either way, the timing and overlapping careers have continued to raise questions among those examining the bigger picture. So, let's get into some of the specific names that Orlando mentioned, because he wasn't speaking only in broad terms about the entertainment industry. Across multiple interviews, he referenced various well-known figures and described connections he believed existed within larger industry circles and social networks tied to powerful people. Before going any further, it's important to be clear, these were Orlando's claims and opinions.
Came out of like 16, 15.
Many of the statements he made have not been confirmed by the individuals he mentioned. Still, one reason people continue discussing them is the timing. Orlando was talking about these topics years before federal investigations, major lawsuits, and widespread media coverage brought increased attention to allegations surrounding certain industry figures. That timing has led some observers to revisit old interviews and compare them with information that later became part of public discussions. However, it's important not to assume that mentioning a name means someone was involved in wrongdoing. Public conversations, documentaries, lawsuits, and media reports often overlap in complicated ways.
One name that frequently comes up in these discussions is Busta Rhymes. This is where the story becomes more layered. As public attention around Diddy's legal challenges grew, and as investigations, lawsuits, and media coverage intensified, the entertainment world appeared to divide into different camps almost overnight.
Love. We made love. Who you made love with? Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just saw me see Busta at the airport too. Never from South Africa. You know you smashed Drake.
No, I never.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Usher's a gusher.
Some people spoke publicly, while others stayed noticeably quiet, creating even more speculation and debate. As public scrutiny increased, many observers felt the entertainment industry seemed to split into two groups. One group stayed unusually quiet, avoided public statements, or kept a low profile while the headlines continued to grow. The other group chose to speak out, urging people not to jump to conclusions and to wait until more information became available. Busta Rhymes was widely viewed as being in that second group. During the premiere of Venom: The Last Dance, he spoke publicly and encouraged people to slow down and allow the facts to emerge before reaching final judgments. On the surface, that position sounded reasonable to many people. After all, waiting for verified information is generally seen as the fair approach. But in the world of celebrity news and online discussion, people often pay attention not only to what is said, but also to how it's said. Some viewers felt that Busta wasn't simply asking for patience. They believed he was distancing himself from the wider conversation and criticizing the intense speculation surrounding it. That reaction quickly caught the internet's attention, leading to even more debate across social media and entertainment circles.
A lot of times people don't realize how insensitive it could be to have opinions on things that you have no understanding of outside of what you're being told.
One reason Busta Rhymes has remained part of these online discussions is because people often point to past public comments and compare them with the way he has handled different situations over the years. For example, when speaking about Frank Ocean coming out, Busta said, "Whatever that man does in his personal space is that man's choice and that man's business." Many people viewed that statement as respectful and supportive. At the same time, various stories, rumors, and online claims about Busta have circulated for years across blogs, social media, and entertainment forums. Some of these claims have been repeated so often that they became part of larger internet debates about celebrity image, public perception, and how fans interpret a star's actions. However, many of these claims remain unverified and should be treated with caution. What's interesting is how quickly public opinion can shift when a celebrity becomes part of a major news cycle. Old interviews, past comments, social media posts, and long-forgotten rumors often get pulled back into the spotlight. In Busta's case, that has led to renewed discussion about his public image, his past statements, and the way different audiences have interpreted them over the years.
Busta Rhymes just grabbed my hand. Hey, he shaking, he holding my hand. Now, I ain't know it was Busta at first.
Taken on their own, many of these stories are easy to dismiss or explain away. But one thing that often drives investigative discussions is the search for recurrent themes. When similar conversations, rumors, or observations appear across different time periods and from different sources, people naturally start looking for connections and asking bigger questions. That doesn't automatically prove anything. A repeated claim is not the same as verified evidence. Still,
Patterns in public discussion can influence how stories are perceived and why certain topics continue attracting attention years later. This is where Ice Cube often gets brought into the conversation. Cube has built a reputation for speaking openly about how he views the entertainment business. When he talks about gatekeepers or powerful decision makers in Hollywood, he's usually describing what he sees as a larger system of influence, relationships, and industry politics that can shape careers and opportunities behind the scenes. Some commentators have speculated that Busta Rhymes' public comments about Diddy reflected more than simple friendship, while others argued they were merely a call for patience and due process. As with many celebrity controversies, different people interpret the same actions in very different ways.
Talking about the clubs of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with.
Now let's turn to Meek Mill, whose name became part of the online conversation as public interest in the allegations surrounding Diddy continued to grow. One of the moments that drew attention involved a lawsuit filed by Rodney Jones, a former producer who worked with Diddy. The filing included a redacted reference that quickly sparked widespread speculation across social media. Internet users immediately began trying to identify the unnamed person, and countless theories spread online within hours. Among the names discussed by online commentators was Meek Mill, despite the fact that speculation on social media is not evidence and should not be treated as fact. What happened next drew even more attention. Rather than allowing the rumors to fade, Meek publicly responded to the growing online discussion. His post became a major topic of conversation, with fans, critics, and media outlets all weighing in on what his reaction might mean and whether the internet had jumped to conclusions too quickly. As the situation played out publicly, a number of legal commentators and media personalities shared their opinions about the reactions they were seeing online. Some argued that public statements, social media posts, and emotional responses can sometimes draw as much attention as the original allegations themselves.
Says he will pay $100,000 to an investigator to find out why his name is being tied in with the Diddy allegation.
Meek's online activity became a major talking point, with fans and critics closely analyzing every post. The discussion wasn't just about the allegations anymore. It was also about how public figures choose to respond when they suddenly find themselves at the center of a viral controversy.
Orlando Brown, who had previously spoken about Meek and Diddy in various interviews, also commented on the situation. As he had done in the past, Orlando shared his own views and interpretations, adding another layer to an already heated public debate. Meanwhile, media personalities and observers familiar with the Philadelphia rap scene offered their own perspectives. They discussed why Meek's reaction attracted so much attention and how it fit into broader conversations that had been circulating within entertainment circles for years. Philadelphia's hip-hop culture has long been known for placing a high value on authenticity and reputation. Because of that, some commentators and people connected to the local music scene have publicly discussed their discomfort with seeing certain artists linked to high-profile celebrity party circles and the rumors that often surround them. Then, there's the birthday party that has been mentioned in various reports. According to public discussions surrounding court filings, Diddy allegedly rented a Las Vegas venue in May 2014 to celebrate Meek Mill's 27th birthday. The event later became a topic of interest because of claims and testimony that surfaced during legal proceedings. According to publicly reported accounts, questions were raised about the condition of the venue afterward, as well as certain arrangements that were allegedly requested for private rooms. These claims became a major focus of online debate and media coverage, with many people trying to understand what, if anything, they might suggest. Gene Deal, who previously worked as Diddy's bodyguard, later commented on some of these reports. What stood out to many observers was that his reaction appeared calm and unsurprised, which led some people to pay even closer attention to his perspective and past experiences around the industry. Gene Deal's comments attracted attention because of his history working closely within the entertainment industry. Supporters often describe him as someone who tends to share observations rather than chase headlines, which is one reason his statements are frequently discussed whenever major stories emerge. At this point, we also have to address another claim that has circulated from multiple sources over the years. It's important to note that these are allegations and personal opinions, not established facts.
More than one public figure has made statements suggesting there were deeper issues behind the scenes in certain entertainment circles, which is why the topic continues to generate debate. In one interview, Orlando Brown made claims about how closely some people were within these social and industry networks. Separately, Jaguar Wright, who has also made numerous allegations about the music business over the years, voiced similar concerns in her own public comments.
So Meek fanned out. Meek's a real groupie. He's basically a groupie. You notice he everybody in the other states and dick jump around and all that. I mean, he want to be in Philly. He want to be them, right? That's why people are fishing up. You know, every time like Philly start popping, he want to come.
However, no broad claims about individuals' private health status have been publicly verified, and such statements should be treated with caution. What remains undeniable is that these comments added even more controversy to an already intense public conversation about power, influence, and secrecy within the entertainment industry. Two separate public figures, both with connections to the entertainment industry, ended up making similar claims in different interviews. That overlap is one reason the discussion gained so much attention online. However, similar allegations from multiple people are still allegations, not proven facts, and they should be viewed carefully. The broader issue many commentators focus on is what these stories could mean for young artists entering the industry today. Whether every claim is accurate or not, the conversation has highlighted concerns about influence, pressure, secrecy, and the risks that can come with chasing opportunities in highly competitive entertainment circles. For many observers, that is the larger takeaway. Supporters of this view argue that newcomers may not always understand the environments they are stepping into or the challenges that can come with navigating powerful social networks. Young performers, aspiring artists, and industry hopefuls often enter these spaces with big dreams and high expectations, making transparency and good guidance especially important. That's also why Busta Rhymes' comments became part of the debate. His public calls for patience and for people to wait for the full facts were interpreted in different ways by different audiences. Some saw them as a fair reminder not to rush to judgment, while others believed they raised additional questions about the larger culture of silence and loyalty that critics claim exists within parts of the entertainment industry. Critics of Busta Rhymes' comments argue that his calls for patience can be interpreted in different ways. While some people see those remarks as a reasonable request to wait for verified facts, others believe they raise questions about why certain figures prefer a slower public conversation around major controversies. That difference in interpretation is what has kept the debate alive. One side views caution as responsible. The other side sees delays and silence as potentially benefiting those who want difficult questions to receive less attention. As a result, the discussion often becomes less about a single statement and more about how powerful networks respond when they come under public scrutiny. One theme that appears repeatedly in conversations about the entertainment industry is the idea that secrecy can help protect influential people and organizations. Critics argue that when more voices begin speaking publicly, long-standing narratives can start to face greater examination and challenge. That brings the focus back to Orlando Brown. He had been making claims and sharing stories for years before many of these topics became major headlines. However, because of his public image, unpredictable interviews, and controversial moments, many people found it easy to dismiss what he was saying without taking a closer look at the details he was discussing. But what happens when similar concerns begin coming from people who are often viewed as more established or credible within the industry? That's one reason these conversations have continued to gain attention. When lawyers, former insiders, commentators, and industry figures start discussing related topics, many people naturally begin revisiting older claims and asking whether there are connections worth examining.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Funk was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, they, you know, man, listen, my dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this highly weird.
Gene Deal, for example, has publicly stated his belief that records, documentation, and other forms of evidence connected to certain events may exist. He's also suggested that investigators are carefully reviewing information and speaking with individuals who may have relevant knowledge. These statements have fueled ongoing speculation and debate across entertainment media. The larger point many observers focus on is that major investigations often rely on evidence, documentation, and witness accounts rather than public opinion. As information is reviewed, narratives can change, new details can emerge, and long-standing questions may receive closer scrutiny. That's why some people believe the atmosphere around this story has shifted. As more claims, reports, and public statements enter the conversation, maintaining complete silence becomes increasingly difficult, and public interest only continues to grow. Some commentators argue that the atmosphere changed once investigations and legal proceedings became major public stories. Their view is that when authorities become involved and evidence is being reviewed, people often become far more cautious about what they say publicly. That perspective has led to widespread speculation about why some industry figures have chosen to stay quiet while others have spoken out. Critics, supporters, media personalities, and online commentators have all offered different explanations, creating a flood of competing theories and interpretations. Observers have also pointed to public reactions from various celebrities as part of the larger conversation. Statements made in interviews, social media posts, and public appearances have been examined closely, with audiences trying to determine what those responses might mean. Whether those interpretations are accurate or not, they've become a major part of the ongoing discussion. With so much attention focused on investigations, public claims, and industry reactions, many people have started revisiting older interviews and comments. That brings us back to a point Orlando Brown made years ago that some followers of the story believe deserves closer attention, because beneath the headlines, the viral clips, the controversial interviews, and the moments that were turned into jokes online, Orlando Brown has delivered a message that has remained surprisingly consistent over the years. At its core, that message has often sounded like a warning about the entertainment industry and the pressures that can come with it. Many of Orlando's supporters argue that his comments shouldn't automatically be dismissed as random rambling. They see them as the reflections of someone who entered the business at a young age, faced difficult experiences, and later tried, sometimes in an emotional or unconventional way, to explain what he believes he witnessed and learned along the way.
How many dudes is running around undetectable, G?
Come on,
In the game?
man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
The public controversies surrounding Diddy have also sparked broader conversations about the entertainment industry as a whole. For some observers, the discussion is no longer just about one individual. Instead, it has become a debate about power, influence, loyalty, and the environments that can exist around fame and success. People such as Orlando Brown, Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, and others have described what they believe are larger industry problems. Their claims suggest a culture where ambitious newcomers can face intense pressure, complicated relationships, and situations that may leave them feeling vulnerable or influenced by powerful figures. Whether those claims are ultimately proven or not, they have fueled a much larger conversation about transparency, accountability, and how the industry operates behind the scenes. Among all the claims and controversies that have circulated, some of the most serious allegations involve concerns that go far beyond careers, reputations, or public image. If any such allegations were ever proven, the consequences would be deeply personal and could affect people in ways that extend far beyond the entertainment industry itself. That is one reason these topics continue to generate such strong reactions and intense debate. For many observers, the larger lesson is not about celebrity gossip or internet drama. It's about understanding how power, influence, and opportunity can sometimes create situations where people feel pressured, uncertain, or unprepared for what they may encounter. Supporters of this view argue that young artists should educate themselves, ask questions, and make informed decisions as they pursue their careers. Others point out that major headlines involving one individual do not automatically change an entire industry. Conversations about transparency, accountability, mentorship, and the treatment of newcomers have continued long after the initial news cycle faded. Those concerns remain part of a much broader discussion about how entertainment businesses operate behind the scenes. That is why Orlando Brown's message continues to resonate with some people. After years of public scrutiny, criticism, and controversy, he has consistently framed his comments as a warning to younger generations entering the business. Whether people agree with all of his claims or not, many believe his central point is clear. Newcomers should stay informed, protect themselves, and understand the environments they choose to enter. The same names continue appearing throughout these discussions: Orlando Brown, Meek Mill, Busta Rhymes, Gene Deal, Jaguar Wright, and others, keeping the conversation alive as audiences search for answers and try to separate speculation from fact. Many people believe all of these stories, claims, and public reactions are part of a much bigger picture, a picture that has sparked ongoing questions about power, influence, loyalty, and secrecy within the entertainment industry. Critics argue that for years, speaking out could come with risks, while staying quiet was often viewed as the safer path. Whether that perception is accurate or not, it has become a major part of the conversation surrounding these events. What's clear is that this story is far from over. Investigations, lawsuits, interviews, and public statements continue to shape the narrative, and new details may still emerge as more information becomes available. As that happens, many people will be watching closely to see what facts are confirmed, what questions remain unanswered, and how the industry responds moving forward. What do you think? Who do you believe had the most insight into these events, and which claims deserve the closest examination? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who are following the story. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss future updates as new developments unfold. Thanks for watching.